Hi, my name is Justin Lara, and this is discussion board 4 for Aviation 342 at Liberty University. The prompt says to describe a time that you were flying with a GPS and had a component of that GPS system malfunction. If you have not had this situation happen to you, describe a potential scenario. In either case, describe what you did or what you would do. I've never had an actual GPS malfunction, but have dealt with multiple malfunctions in training. For this assignment, I will be discussing a time where my instructor had disabled WAAS on the G1000 while flying an RNAV approach. We were flying the RNAV runway 25 right approach into Livermore. Typically, when you fly this approach with the G1000, the middle of the HSI would show the GPS had armed an LPV. To fly this approach, you would intercept the glide slope at the final approach fixed gains at an altitude of 3,200. You would then track the glide slope all the way down to the decision altitude of 600 feet. However, my instructor turned off WAAS while I wasn't looking after the final approach fix. This simulated losing WAAS, causing the LPV in the center of the HSI to turn amber and then switch to LNAV. First, I would like to explain what WAAS is and how it differs from RAM. Many people confuse the two, thinking they are the same thing or connected in some way. However, while they strive to meet similar goals, WAAS and RAM are two completely separate systems. RAM uses an extra satellite to verify the GPS positioning is accurate. WAAS, on the other hand, uses ground-based reference stations to find deviations in positioning, then corrects for that error automatically. The ground-based stations never change position, and the system knows exactly where they are. When a satellite claims that the reference station is in a slightly different location, the system corrects for this deviation. This correction happens continuously and results in extremely precise positioning. This is what a pilot should do at all times in order of priority, whether it's en route or shooting an approach. The first step is to aviate or fly the plane, staying in controlled flight. When trying to respond to a failure, the pilot must continue their scan, figure out how to react accordingly, and command the aircraft. Next is navigate. Just because you're dealing with an issue does not mean you ignore the nav aids and fly into a mountain. Figure out where you need to go and go there. Finally is communicate with ATC. The Aeronautical Information Manual states pilots must report any loss in controlled airspace of VOR, TACAN, ADF, low-frequency navigation receiver capabilities, GPS anomalies, while using IFR-certified CPS/GNSS receiver, complete or partial loss of ILS receiver capability, or impairment of air/ground communications capability. Reports should include aircraft identification, equipment affected, degree to which the capability to operate under IFR in the ATC system is impaired, and the nature and extent of what assistance is desired from ATC. Since we were expected to have WAAS availability for this approach, losing WAAS is an anomaly and needs to be reported to ATC. Luckily, this approach has more than just LPV minimums and can be flown without WAAS. After losing WAAS, I immediately switched to the LNAV minimums, which have a minimum descent altitude rather than a decision altitude. First, I flew the plane, staying on the correct course. Then navigated by receiving the approach plate and briefing the first step down. Then, when I found time with a high workload, I reported the GPS anomaly to ATC. Without WAAS, you do not have a glide path and must fly at step downs on the approach plate. I chopped my power and descended to 2,320 and maintained my altitude until Oahe, then chopped and dropped again to be at 1,180 at torques, and then again to the MDA at 980. With the LNAV minimums available, losing WAAS was easy to handle. At the beginning of my instrument training, I was flying this RNAV Zulu 3-1 right approach, and my instructor did the same thing after OSNM. I had no idea what to do and started flying a step down to 533 feet. My instructor told me to take off the foggles, and I realized I was descending straight toward terrain. You cannot fly an LPV only approach without WAAS because you don't get a glide path. What I should have done was executed a missed approach. Once I was ready to contact ATC, notify them I was going missed and of the GPS anomaly, and then got vectors to the RNAV Yankee through and right, which has LNAV minimums. That's all I got for this week's discussion board. Thank you for watching.